The clapstick's a little bit better than the glass, I think. So actually, I thought I'd bring along the clipsticks because just up the corner there, that very, very special man, my great-great-granduncle William Barrick's image is looking over us tonight here. So look, Wominjeka Kundi Bik. Could I give everyone say Wominjeka? Come on, do better than that. We've got a celebration here tonight, leadership celebration, Wominjeka. That's a bit better. In my Wurrung language, that means welcome to my ancestors' country. My name's Ron Jones, and I'd like to pay my respects to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that may be here, past and present tonight, but all elders that are here, because this tremendous leadership man, so I thought I'd bring along his photo. He was one of the best leadership men, and I think if he's alive today, he'd be one of the best politicians we've ever seen too, because he was such a tremendous politician at Corranderk. So to me, he was the greatest man. That's William Barrick. So that's his image up the top end on that building, up the top end of Swanston Street. So his image looks all over Melbourne to me, and it looks over the spirit. So just imagine, I suppose his spirit would be thinking completely different. Oh, if I would have been up here 200 years ago, it would have been a beautiful country and beautiful scenery, plenty of kangaroos, plenty of wildlife and everything, but things have certainly changed. So we can't stop progress. So William Barrick, he was, you might as well say, the leadership, the Narrangeti of Corranderk Aboriginal Mission Station up at Hearsville. So that's where all my family come off, and my grandmother was born up there, my mum was born up there, and her brothers and sisters were born at Corranderk Aboriginal Mission Station. And what this tremendous man did for his people at Corranderk was unbelievable. They were fully self-supporting Aboriginal Mission Station. And then what happened there, when they started to make money and they used to grow hops and everything, and they got prizes, but not once the Aboriginal people ever got the prize that went to the non-Indigenous people that were running that mission station. And the stories that my mum told me about Corranderk and what such a beautiful place it is. But when you look back now and you look at concentration camps and immigration camps and that, there was no difference to what Corranderk was. Our people were all rounded up and put onto those mission stations, and all their rights were taken away. So, you know, I just think of the things, but the story about Mum and her stories about Corranderk, and then what happened when Corranderk was shut up, and finally shut up, they sent all the full-blood Aboriginals to Lake Tyers, Ebenezer and Framingham, and all the half-caste, like my mum and her brothers and sisters, were sent to Cumragunja. So it was about ripping our people apart again. So, you know, when I think of leadership, we've been doing it for over 60,000 years, but we've been doing it in different ways. So just imagine if we, or William Barrick was doing a leadership, what I think would be leadership back in them days, it'd be out in the open, and it'd be bringing people together like people have brought together tonight. So just imagine you'd have different groups and different mob all together celebrating. And I just love talking about, and especially here at the State Library, there's a lot of my family history in records in this library here. And the other thing when I think about why I brought William Barrick's photo with me tonight, as his image looks right down Swanston Street, down to Serina Remembrance, his spirit is looking over all the people that went away and fought for this beautiful country in the First World War and Second World War. But a lot of people don't realise most of our men that went away, they was not citizens of this country, so they had to sign up as something else. They had to sign up as an Indian or American Negro. So a lot of that history, and it was only up until 1967 when Vietnam broke out that our people could tick the box and finally say they arrive at Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander. So a lot of the history, I'd love to see a lot of this history talked about, and so people could realise, because a lot of my grandmother's brothers that come back from the Second World War, when they went back onto the mission station, they got no pensions, they got nothing, because they weren't counted as citizens. And one of my grandmother's brothers, actually Uncle Joe, he was pulled out from Corranderk. They sent him off to school because he was so fair, and he became a school teacher. And then he finished up a headmaster up at Rosalie in 1932. But that's so sad, because he had to sign away and he could not say he's Aboriginal. So, you know, we've got all this type of history and that, and I'd love to see this education people start really delving into our history, because it's such a beautiful history. It's about sharing, caring and looking after people. And I've been involved with the Victoria Market there, and with the new development and redevelopment. And a lot of people don't realise we have over 7,500 graves in that market. Now, out of that 7,500 graves, there's about 300 Aboriginal graves. And one of the graves is William Barrick's son, David, that is buried in that market. So I've been working on that steering committee on the Victoria market here, and it's about trying to protect, because a lot of people don't realise we have a lot of Chinese, we have a lot of Jewish, we have a lot of English, Scottish, Irish, friends group from America, and all them people, that's their ancestral resting place, and it shouldn't be touched. And we had this storeholder that was there, and he said, why are you so concerned? He said, you don't even look Aboriginal. I said, I don't, do I? And he said, no. And I said, you know the reason why? He said, why? I said, because I was born in the daytime, and my grandmother and my mum and dad, they were born in the night time. And he said, you fair income. You know, so it just shows you today that people don't realise. And I said, no, in actual fact, I think this might be me white fella's disguise I wear, but in the night time I'll change my disguise. And so he was drinking a cup of coffee. And I said, now, did you notice that cup of coffee that you poured out? And he said, yeah. I said, what was the colour of it? And he said, it was black. And I said, now, you got milk in it. What colour did it come? He said, it become more whiter. I said, but what is it? He said, it's still a cup of coffee. I said, well, that's what I am. So I'm like that cup of coffee, how it's changed over time, or the cup of tea. I said, so next time when you start doing things like that and drinking your cup of tea or coffee, just have a look at the colour when you pour it out. And people are so amazed, you know, when you talk about a history and that course. I'd love to see more of it. And they were supposed to bring it into curriculums in schools here in Victoria, but it still hasn't happened. And if people start to realise how it's about sharing, caring and looking after our people. And when I think of the stories, my mother worked for the Advancement League, and I was a part in 1972 of setting up the first medical centre in Fitzroy here for Aboriginal people. All them elders are gone now, they're all passed on, but they put down a legacy. And back in them days, we had beautiful doctors that were working. We had a father and daughter team that was working from the Children's Hospital, working there for the love of doing it for their people. And it was the same when Uncle Jim Berg set up the legal service around about the same time at Gertrude Street, Fitzroy there. The solicitors that were working there, they were working for doing it for nothing because they cared so much about Aboriginal people. And the sharing and caring, but they realised that our people were caring for them too, and they were accepted as Aboriginal people. So, you know, when I look at my mum and everything, if we could go back and look the way she was born and suffered so much discrimination, we'd have a beautiful world today. Because the way that they got on with life and they intermixed, and especially William Barrick, he was so well thought of by the non-Indigenous people at the time, but they decided to put that brass plaque on his chest and they called him King Billy. And then what they do after they put the brass plaque there, they stole his land and took everything. You know, but that man still never held grudges or anything. And it's like I said, it's such a beautiful story in history. So enjoy the night. I just keep going all night because I love talking about my history and my culture, and especially when we're with a multicultural mob that we've got here tonight. And a lot of their ancestry and their history is exactly the same as our history. So we can relate to a lot of multiculturals here in Australia that have been sent, that have to leave their country through war and everything. So we know exactly the same, and that's how we feel. And we still feel that today for other countries around the world. And so enjoy the night, and thank you very much for having me to do this. Welcome to country. Thanks, Tar.